Hello, this is Ryan with Synergy. Alright, so today I'm going to show you my intrusion detection system. So what I have here is a diagram for the IDS. It's starting from Wazuh in the cloud. Wazuh is the IDS that I'm using in this case, and its server is in the cloud, and it goes through the internet to the client router into a smart switch I set up along with the Synergy sensor, which in this case is the IDS. And that IDS picks up all data coming off computers and laptops and anything else that comes in, not comes in, that goes over that smart switch. And how it does that is on the smart switch itself, it's using port 5 on the smart switch. In my case, in this case, it mirrors that traffic onto the sensor itself. So to explain what I'm talking about here, so let's bring up what I have set up. So here's the router, here's the IDS, here's the Windows machine in my environment, and then here is the smart switch. So it's just a 5-port smart switch. So let's look at the smart switch here. So it's just a Netgear smart switch, and on port 5 it connects to the IDS, and then the IDS also connects to the smart switch for internet, and then a Windows machine is connected to here for internet, and then another cable is just branching off to connect to the router itself. So looking at this Windows machine, I've run pings here. I've also run some other commands, and it's picked it up through there. So then now let's take a look at what the smart switch looks like. So here it is. This is a smart switch. So the smart switch I have set up for mirroring on port 5, but if in a larger organization, you're going to have a lot larger switches. Some switches I've placed out there are larger than this for sure. Some of them 15 plus ports. And in those cases, the same idea though. You just select a port, you have it mirror all the data to it, and then that's how you get all the data to come to that sensor. So here's my sensor right here. So to explain a little bit more, so here's the interfaces that you see on here. So Eno1, this is the internet. WG0, this is the tunnel that works to go from their site to the server. So from the sensor or the IDS to the server. And then we have this one right here, which is connected to the smart switch. So with this, you are getting all that data coming into the IDS, and then whatever it deems worthy, it sends to the server itself. So let's take a look at some of these commands I have here. So first, you can run this one or clear to clear the data in there. So if you run this, run that, clear it, okay. Alright, so the next one, let's go ahead and see what it looks like as far as the last time we've seen it connect to the tunnel. So you can see it's talking about the interface, the tunnel interface. Let's do that. There we go. So 47 seconds ago, it sent 143 to through the tunnel. Basically, it shows WG0, so that's that tunnel. Alright, so then that's good. So now let's go ahead and run and see what the mirror port is seeing. So this is that interface is connected to the smart switch. So we see here, we have this is connecting to the smart switch through that. That's good. It's saying it's up. And then now let's go ahead and run a TCP dump to see the 15 packets worth of data. Alright, cool. So what we can see here is pretty interesting. There are some interesting pieces of data. So you can see other data that's on the network as well that's going through here, which is good. That means that the access point is actually taking in a bit of data from other areas as well. So so looking at this, you can see this IP here. This is the sensor, right? And the Windows machine is actually this one, and this one is the sensor. So you have some other devices actually pouring data into it as well, which is pretty interesting. So 26 packets actually were seen in that case. So now let's go back to these commands here. So to test this, I'm going to run this curl and this ping. So the curl test my IDS is a higher level alert. It should bring up a higher level alert, while the ping is a lower level alert, being more like a maintenance alert. But I've actually created a rule for ping, so it's going to come up a little higher level than most IDS, I think. So let's run this. Let's run it like 4 times, and then let's go ahead and we can actually run this one more time just to make sure, and then let's go ahead and go to the dashboard. So I have the dashboard up here. I've already went to the agent section here, but it looks like this. It shows you there's like 14,000 alerts there for low severity, which a lot of times are more like informational, and then medium as well. So let's go to active here, and then there's 2 agents here. So I have 1 agent I put on. One Wazuh agent's been put on the Windows machine, and then 1 Wazuh agent's been put on the sensor itself, or the IDS. So, and you can see the difference being that this has the tunnel and this does not. So if we go here, and here you can see that I have it set for the last 2 hours. I did that to take a look at some of the information that happened 2 hours ago. So let's go to threat hunting, and this shows you a lot more information. So right away you can see there's quite a bit of info here, but one thing to note about this, you see this is overwhelmingly showing this particular rule group, right? Well, the reason it's showing this rule group is because I set that up as a custom rule group, and there's custom rules in there. That's why that one comes up. But you also see some other things that are pretty notable, like this authentication failure. This came up in the authentication success. Obviously, you see there's 0 for failure and 10 for success. So I've basically been testing. I've been logging into various machines, and it'll detect this. It does success if I think a lot of times if an agent succeeds too. So some of these aren't going to be me. But it doesn't do that very often, so it's still within 2 hours, 10 successes. It's not too notable, but it's still notable. But if you see any authentication failures, it's definitely going to show. We can set this to 1 hour if you want to see a different amount of alerts here. You see it's only 4 now, and only 64 alerts here. More granularly, we can go to the events here, and we can actually see some other information here. So we ran that curl test my IDS, and we ran those pings. So the difference is going to be in the fact that you see these rule levels. So the first thing I'll say is when it comes to a rule level, you're more or less talking about the severity of it. The higher the level, the more severe, which is pretty simple. But at a level 0, it means that the rule will not fire. It just will not activate. So you won't find anything in here. Most likely, you're not going to find anything in here with this level 0. So as you can see here, I've got an 8, a 10, and there's some other ones in here like a 3. So anything under, in my design, under an 8 is going to be more informational. I have a slightly higher level of informational for a 7, but basically for me it's going to have an 8, a 10, and a 12. That's a low, medium, and high. Anything under that is basically informational. So for this case, the 8 was at ping, because I have it in my design as a low severity for ping. So in this case, it's most likely going to show. That's a different ping, actually. Interesting enough. So let's just take a look at a different one real quick. So this one. Yep, that's it. Okay, so this is one of the ones we did for ICMP ping. We did the 8.8.8.8. If we wanted to, we could test it again. We could do instead of the 8.8, we could do 4, which is basically the same thing. But we could do this one, and this will also come up. It'll come up pretty quickly too. But real quick, let's take a look at a 10. So a 10 is going to most likely be the curl my IDS. So it says bad traffic. So basically it found that, oh look, they went to this site, this thing happened, right? So you can see here, look, it went to test my IDS. So that's that. It really tells you it was a curl, right? It's decent info there. But if we refresh this, because now it's been a second, and now you can see that there's more in here. There's a lot more in here. So we just did that ping, and there's a lot more data that was picked up. So let's go to just one of these, and you should be seeing, yep, there it is. So now we have 8.8.4.4. I believe it's also picking up like some return packets. Why there might be, or some other packets involved, because there's more information than just 4. And in my case, actually, it was only 3. So yeah, there's probably a bit more, and probably picking up some just normal network activity in the network. That's another piece that you're going to see. I've tuned some of that out myself. So anyways, so this is last hour. You can see quite a bit of info here. You can see information here. This is PCI info. But the main thing about this, if we go back, let's go back to this here. The main thing is that it covers the host intrusion detection, it covers the network intrusion detection, and then of course it covers system level within that as well. So it realistically, at the very least, covers both network and host. And you can actually go further with this. And in some of my clients, I've set this up for. They have cloud environments where they have this as well. I have this set up in the cloud, and so this is how it works. It can connect to anyone through a tunnel. So yeah, that's basically it. It's my IDS design, really. So it starts from the cloud and goes through and all the way through to my Synergy sensor or my IDS. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll keep making more content on Wazuh, Suricata, and IDS, and other cybersecurity pieces like penetration testing as well. So subscribe and let me know what you think.